music. Everyone feel calm and concentrated? I don't. Let's see what comes out. So welcome back. And I don't just mean the people who have been here before. Who is a psychology student here? She's left. Oh, good, because she won't say that I misquoted this, but I think it was Karl Joung that said the process of self-discovery or the process of growth is actually a process of remembering and rediscovering. Albert Einstein says that in the West, we've built this beautiful big vessel that has all the technology, all the luxuries, but it has no compass. The Dalai Lama says we build taller buildings, but we have shorter patience. We've built wider highways, but we have narrower perspectives. We have technology that connects us with people all the way around the world that we've never met, but it takes us so far from the people who are closest to us. There's a beautiful story, and I'm glad that no one is Greek here because it's a Greek story. And it's a story about the CEO and the fisherman. If you've heard it, I'm sure you haven't heard it this way before. So a CEO on holiday goes to a nice little fishing village. It could be in Asia, it could be in the south of Spain. Use your imagination. And he sees this fisherman who's very efficiently catching fish. And he sits there in admiration and asks the fisherman, "You're really good at this. How many fish do you catch a day?" And the fisherman says, "Well, I don't know, I catch about 4 or 6. And he says, "Okay, then what do you do with them?" "I take them home to my wife, she cooks them, we have a nice family meal together, and then I go off, I drink some wine with my friends, I play guitar and we sing all night." The CEO then says, "Well, you're really good at this, and if you tried harder and worked a little longer with the extra fish that you caught and the profits that you made, you can buy another boat. And when you make a lot of profit off that boat, eventually you end up owning an entire fleet. And after you get this entire fleet, then you can purchase a tinning factory. And then you can start to monopolize your little fishing village. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to list your company on the stock exchange." The fisherman, very impressed, says, "Wow, and how long will all that take?" The CEO replies, "Oh, about 15, 20 years. The fisherman, a little perplexed, and says, "Okay, so I'm going to do all that, and what happens next?" The CEO says, "Well, I never thought about that, but I guess you can sit, do your fishing, go at home, play guitar with your friends, drink wine all night, and relax." So the journey of self-discovery in this very, very busy world that we've created, in this race for happiness, results, success, titles, etc., often comes to a point where you kind of look again with fresh eyes around your reality and realize that actually everything is just perfect the way it is. And you are perfect exactly the way you are. So today is the soft launch for this project, which we haven't talked too much about on Facebook because it's literally the first time we're introducing it. We're going to talk about the seminar that you're going to be doing over the weekend, and I'm going to introduce Gabby in a second and what she's going to offer you guys. But I'd like to introduce to you a little bit about the concept. The concept is called the Ascension Academy. And first, a couple of words about the meaning of the word ascension. Ascension has 2 meanings. One is the spiritual ascension that you might be familiar with, which every major religion has. It's the ascension of Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, all the saints that you know. But it's also the physical or material ascension of a director to the position of CEO, of a prince to the position of the king of a country. Because in our quest for growth and our journey, it's nice to be able to say, I don't want to be a part of all this and I'm going to go to a mountain and meditate all day like a Buddhist monk. And if you want to do that and that's your calling, go ahead. The world needs more Buddhist monks for sure. But we do live in a physical world. And the idea is, how do we integrate that world with a world that we've kind of forgotten? And there is a theory by a guy called Vishen Lakhiani. Have you ever guys heard Vishen Lakhiani from Mind Valley? Awesome. Anyone else heard about Vishen Lakhiani from Mind Valley? Front row. No accident, I'll tell you. So it's law. Vishen Lakiani talks about the 4 levels of consciousness. And in level 1, he talks about the animal man, the instinctual man, where life is happening to him. He blames everything for his environment. It's the government's fault. It's the way the people are. It's the Romania, the country. In level 2, the level of culture hacking, through intention, objectives, perseverance and work, you realize that you have more power. Once you accept also the responsibility for everything that's happening around you, you can start to influence society. You can get that position in that company that you wanted. Liviu, please come in.
Hello.
Hello. You're on camera. Come on in. Have a seat. So in level 2, the level of culture hacking, you, through intention and objectives, can get that job you want, influence that part of society that's very important to you. But then at level 3, and this is the area where Einstein says you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking or consciousness. You have to create, through another level of consciousness, a model which renders the old model completely obsolete. It's the level where Michael Beckwith says goals and intentions are for pussies. Instead, you're guided by something else. It's what geniuses say when they asked, how did you come up with that idea? I was like, I don't know, it just came to me. And life becomes much less like a race and more like a dance. And you're kind of guided and flowed.
First step, bending reality. It's
Exactly.
very powerful.
Bending
Even the
reality.
name, bending reality.
Has anyone ever experienced a moment where they bended reality? Front row people and second row people? All the way to the third? No?
Always bending reality.
There you go.
We have a master here.
So my journey into my own personal growth, I've realized that you can't skip any steps. And it doesn't matter what level you're on, but you need basically tools by finding them online, by having teachers, it doesn't matter, but you need tools to help you along in each stage. And so what the Ascension Academy is about, actually, is a school, but also a playground, because sometimes the notion of school can be a bit too serious, and we forget that life is actually about play, and learning is more fun when we're playing. So the Ascension Academy is going to offer people a bunch of tools through seminars, workshops for the mind, body, and soul, to help people along their journey. And the key principle here is education, not dogma. You see, everything on this planet, all our history, all religions, science, all has its value. The time where we tend to reject it is when it becomes dogma, when we hold on too dearly to that school of thought, when people identify and remove from their own power, in effect, their own journey, and they give it all to that school of thought. And that's what we tend to resist. That's why I'm not a big fan of the church, although I think the church is very useful in many regards. But when it gets dogmatic, when they try to tell people, lead your life this way, that's when we tend to push back. And so this school is about offering tools. They're agnostic tools. It's not about what I have to teach or what Gabi has to teach or what Carmen has to teach. It's about what you want to learn for yourself. And using those things, removing what's not of value, and letting that guide you along the path. So that's what the Ascension Academy is about. A few short words is we're going to be hosting master classes, a bit like the Mind Valley model, but in a physical center, where we're going to offer free information for people to come. You're actually going to get a lot of value out of those classes. We're going to do some very transformative experiential learning, something that maybe some of you haven't experienced before, except the front row. And we're also going to have an area and a room for physical therapy. Carmen is going to be massaging or heading the massage, basically, services. And why massage? Because sometimes you're so stuck, let's say, in your way of being that any of these concepts might sound very alien, strange, and even scary to you. You'll resist. Through massage, though, you start to become a little bit more open to those things. And Carmen does a very, very special technique, which I won't get into too much because I'm going to leave that for another masterclass, where she works actually with your energy. And then she doesn't have to say anything. You start to ask for these things. It's a very beautiful process. I'm part of the result of it. So if you like what you see. So the final thing I'm going to leave you with is a little bit about my personal journey and my own story through, let's say, my growth. About 3 years ago, I had what I thought in terms of society's formula of what a successful life should be like. I had over 30 employees, and some of them are here today, and I'm very thankful that we still have this relationship and a much more conscientious relationship today. I was married, but I couldn't have been more miserable. I think there's not anything more than a common thing today than a depressed CEO, entrepreneur, or student following what they think in formulaic fashion, doing everything perfect, but then finding themselves lost and disconnected. And that's what happened to me. And life has a very, very interesting way of giving you exactly the right experience that you need. I think it's Eckhart Tolle that said, life gives you exactly the right experience for your consciousness to evolve. And how do you know you're having the right experience? It's the experience that you're having right now in this moment. So, let's say that I had this wake-up call and life hit me hard in the face. Because the more you resist, the more life is going to hit you and make sure that you wake up. And if you don't listen to that sign, you can continue. But I'll tell you, it's not a pretty journey. And at age 30, I had a heart condition. And I was always a very healthy person. So that was my wake-up call, and I started to search. I took 3-4 months of work. The company went haywire, but it's okay. And I started to explore personal development, Tony Robbins, a lot of this stuff. If you want, or if you like, I call that around level 2, let's say, stuff. I accepted responsibility. I changed my field of perception. I learned about intention and manifestation, and boy, did it work. I conjured up, well, I had this moment where I was thinking, you know, when you finally learn that the people that you're around kind of affects your mood and your energy, and if you're around negative people stuck with judgment, you tend to feel low all the time. They tend to sap your energy. I had that realization, and then I said, no, I want to meet free, high vibrational, fully in the moment people like me. And bam, the next day I met Carmen. So that worked for me a lot. But again, life has a way of putting you back on track, because we talked about you can have the perfect map with everything laid out, but if you don't have your compass and you don't know where you're going, you're still going to get lost. And although I was manifesting all these things that I'd learned through these new tools, like a new car, a new this, business coming really easily, every step forward, I would get 3 steps back. And so, again, I fell into a depression. But this time, actually, it was a much nicer depression. I was a bit aware of what was going on. I knew that life was showing me something that I had to learn. So instead, I kept my faith. And faith is something that we've lost in today's society with our rush and advancement for science, where everything is material. And I knew that there was some kind of point to this whole journey. And let's say that at the end of that journey, I finally got to discover what my real life purpose is. Let's say I'm tapping into stage 2, or stage 3, sorry. And I'm still on my journey, and that's the beautiful thing about this platform. And another thing about this platform is it's also about people who want to contribute. In this room, we have a startup developer that's trying to change the way companies learn, organizational learning. We had a psychotherapist earlier who's studying, and we have a musician here. We have a beautiful coach who does wonderful, wonderful things, and she's going to do a process with you guys that literally changed my life. I'm not going to say too much about that. And so if you're feeling that you have a calling, and that's what the subject of this seminar is about, the story of your life, we're going to give you some tools, some tips for you to get back in touch, discover what your purpose is, and how to connect with everything you'll ever need so you can go out and get it. But actually, it's so that it can come to you. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Gabi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The front row is amazing.
I knew I could rely on the front row.
you treated us like this. It's really bad.
Kill them with kindness, baby.
Good. Gata. Și acum ați văzut partea de culise. Bine ați venit și mă bucur să vă cunosc. Mă bucur să vă reîntâlnesc pe mulți dintre voi. Numele meu este Gabriela Vereș și sunt trainer și coach din 2002. Călătoria mea personală în domeniul dezvoltării personale, dezvoltării spirituale e de mult, aș putea să spun. Prima mea experiență cu meditația, de exemplu, am avut-o la 12 ani. Am fost expusă la ceea ce nu era atât de disponibil pe vremea aceea în România. Și prima mea experiență, sau mă rog, primele mele experiențe în business sunt de la 16 ani încoace, acum am 31. Și mereu am căutat, prin tot ce am făcut, prin toate locurile pe unde am călătorit, oamenii pe care i-am întâlnit, am căutat să înțeleg cum funcționează alte culturi, cum funcționează sistemele care dau rezultate, care ajută oamenii să fie fericiți, care ajută cu adevărat oamenii să împlinească ceea ce își doresc în viața lor. Și m-am expus la experiențe dintr-o parte în alta a globului, peste tot pe unde m-a ghidat busola interioară. Și toată bogăția asta pe care am adunat-o din atât de multe culturi și de la atât de mulți oameni mult mai experimentați decât mine, și în domeniul de business, și în domeniul de management, și în domeniul de dezvoltare personală, și în domeniul de lucru cu inteligența emoțională, de lucru cu inteligența spirituală, toate astea mi-au îmbogățit foarte mult viața. Iar nu doar viața mea, ci și viața celor de lângă mine. Cum vă spuneam, am început coaching și training de când eram în liceu. Am început cu soft skills în Fundația Codex pentru Leadership, antrenând liderii de mâine, care pe vremea erau elevi, la fel ca mine, și acum sunt cam deodată cu noi. Și mă bucur să fiu aici. Astăzi o să experimentăm puțin ce se întâmplă în weekend. De ce am ales tema asta? Povestea vieții tale. Și aici vin cu un studiu. Oxford Analytica. Auzit cineva de Oxford Analytica? Probabil cei din IT. E o companie care face studii pe toate domeniile pentru CEOs, pentru președinți de state, etc. Și un studiu pe care l-au făcut recent e despre leadership. Care sunt cele mai importante ingrediente pentru un lider? Și au studiat cazuri cu toate documentele pe care le avem, de la Cezar încoace, Hitler, inclusiv Lady Gaga și anumiți oameni care sunt astăzi considerați lideri. Și ce au descoperit ei, cu date concrete, statistice, e că cel mai important lucru pe care l-au avut toți acești oameni e povestea. Cel mai important lucru pe care l-au avut toți liderii, indiferent de skill-urile lor, de abilitățile, capabilitățile lor, context, cultura în care erau, era povestea pe care o spuneau. Și gândiți-vă și voi puțin la liderii pe care îi cunoașteți. De ce e mai importantă, de exemplu, să luăm un exemplu concret, de ce e mai importantă povestea pe care o spun grupările extremiste? De ce e ea mai importantă și are un impact mai mare asupra celor care îi urmează pe cei lideri, decât povestea pe care o spune în replică, de exemplu, guvernul american? Da, e o poveste mai puternică. Da, care trezește ceva foarte profund în cei care urmează povestea respectivă. La fel, gândiți-vă la liderii pe care îi apreciați voi. Oameni care vă inspiră, pe care îi urmați pe Facebook sau a căror citate le aveți pe undeva scrise, ce anume vă inspiră la ei. Povestea. Da, 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 exact. Și povestea trece de multe ori prin punctele de durere. De multe ori ne inspiră să vedem când cineva, putem să ne raportăm la cineva care a trecut prin zone de durere, la fel ca și noi, cu care ne identificăm și a reușit să transforme în ceva ca prin magie, în altceva. Și ăștia sunt oameni pe care ne dorim să-i studiem, pe care ne dorim să-i urmăm. Și apropo de raportare și de poziționare, o să duc un alt exemplu din cultura maiașă și din cultura șamanilor laica, unde raportarea la divinitate era tot așa, pe 4 nivele. Primul nivel de raportare la divinitate era Dumnezeu este în afara mea. Dumnezeu este în afara mea, e nevoie de un întreg set de mecanisme și procese ca să mă conectez, să-L caut, să-L găsesc, să-L pierd, să-L regăsesc, etc. Al doilea nivel de conectare era Dumnezeu este în mine. Mă pot conecta cu El chiar aici. N-am nevoie de o construcție, n-am nevoie de un sistem, de un mod de raportare. Pot să mă conectez permanent. De câte ori aleg, Dumnezeu e în mine. Trăiește și în mine și prin mine, așa cum e peste tot. Al treilea nivel de percepție și de raportare era Dumnezeu lucrează prin mine. Și ăsta este nivelul de geniu, nivelul ăla de unde cerebrale gamma sau super beta, în care ești deja super activ, în care ești conectat și îți vine o idee creativă în același timp cu chinezul, cu rusul, cu celălalt inventator pe care niciodată nu l-ai întâlnit. Deci al treilea nivel, Dumnezeu lucrează prin mine. Iar al patrulea nivel este Dumnezeu și cu mine suntem una. Nu mai există niciun fel de separare. Și nivelul ăsta de separare, de fapt, e ceea ce creează pentru noi astăzi cea mai mare suferință pe pământ. Lipsa de prezență și separarea. De fapt, separarea vine din prezență, din lipsă de prezență. În momentul în care ești cu adevărat prezent, nu mai poți în același timp să ai gândire categorică plină de judecăți. Când ești cu adevărat prezent, îți dorești să eficientizezi clipa aia la maxim. Să te conectezi cât de mult poți cu oamenii pe care îi întâlnești, pentru că știi că s-ar putea ca peste o secundă să dispari tu sau celălalt. Și atunci ai interesul să maximizezi fiecare resursă. Ori pentru noi ca oameni, efectiv în viața noastră, și gândiți-vă la paradigma asta, cum ar fi să vă gestionați viața ca un business. Să vă gândiți la viața voastră ca și cum ar fi un business. Chiar dacă nu faceți bani din asta, gândiți-vă ce alte resurse primiți. Dacă viața voastră ar fi un business, uitați-vă cine sunt furnizorii voștri. Oamenii care vă dau diverse lucruri. Oameni care vă iubesc, oameni care au grijă de voi, oameni care vorbesc cu voi, oameni care vă fac pâinea, de exemplu, pe care voi mergeți și o cumpărați la magazin. Suntem cu toții conectați. Și în momentul în care ne privim viața ca un business, ne o asumăm ca un manager. Ne asumăm riscuri. Și în același timp ne conștientizăm mai bine resursele. Care sunt resursele pe care le avem, ce putem face cu ele, cum le putem optimiza. Dacă am nevoie de o resursă și nu o am, cum o găsesc? Cum o găsesc prin proximitate, pe cine sun? Toate astea există ca informații în noi, pentru că permanent creierul nostru culege și captează o grămadă de informații. Vedeți acolo? În 48 de ore, 5 miliarde de gigabytes. Atâta informație producem noi acum. Atâta informație trece prin creierele noastre zi de zi. E enorm. 5 miliarde este echivalent cu volumul de informație care se întâmpla